a busy, busy weekend. Basically from Friday to last night, I've been busy.
Yeah, you've been traveling and everything, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Doing the wedding shuffle.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. So the wedding was in Hermiston, and
Mm.
Hermiston is in the high desert up on a plateau, and
Oh.
it was 100 degrees, and it was an outdoor wedding in the sun, no shade.
Oh.
So
Oh,
that,
so
uh,
poorly planned there.
well,
Oh.
yeah, well, oh, yeah, no, the planning. Oh, surely you just. But yeah, not to mention that the photos started at 12:30, and the ceremony didn't start till 2:30. So yeah, 100-degree heat, and I don't
Two
know.
hours?
Yeah, about yeah. Well, it wasn't about 2 hours. I think the ceremony itself, from 2:30 to like 3:30. I think it was over about an hour. But man, when you're in the high desert, the sun just feels closer. I
Man, look, anytime you need an excuse on how to get out of one of these things, just hit me up, man. I can help formulate a perfectly worded way to get you out of anything.
well,
I got you, man.
it was my
Yeah.
nephew. I wouldn't have bailed on him, but
Oh, yeah.
man, it was hot. Like really
Yeah.
hot. Like I I am not a stranger, to wearing a cowboy hat, being out in the sun, and usually, camping, fishing, whatever. And I'm wearing jeans because you're camping, fishing, whatever. And even I couldn't handle this. Like I started to get woozy. Not gonna lie, I started to
Oh.
get a little dizzy and started showing signs of heat stroke. Had to take my cowboy hat off and cool off for a bit. But yeah, no, it was crazy hot. And then
See, and I stayed inside
right, yeah,
in
and
the
then
AC.
and then yesterday, of course, was 4th of July. We went over to my brother-in-law's, and it was in the 90s. Barbecued, but we mostly stayed inside there. At least they've got air conditioning. But I mean,
Let's
they don't
see.
they don't crank their air conditioning the way I do. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
I was doing for the 4th of July. We had. Oh, I went to Tokyo House buffet. It's a whole bunch of Japanese food.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. But then we went to McDonald's and got a burger. That's pretty fucking American,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. So we did
that's what we did
that.
for breakfast yesterday. Is we got burgers from
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Right on. But I mean, for the most part, on the 4th, I just stayed inside. I mean, you hear the gun, you hear the fireworks going off outside all the time.
Oh
It's
yeah, and I mean we
Arkansas.
could see the mortars going off from my
Sure.
from my living room window. I could sit right
Yeah.
here at my computer and see the
Yeah.
mortars going off. But
But man, yeah, once I mean, really about 3 or 4 years of your life, if you got to drop $1,000 or more on fireworks, that's about all you need for everything. I mean, because
yeah,
there, right there, you're good, and you're good for forever. You don't need to do that shit again. The drones interest me more than fireworks now. The choreographed drones with the lights and shit.
yeah, I've never been super interested in fireworks. Like if I was the one lighting them off and blowing something up, but even that gets old after about the first 15, 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
like watching fireworks displays, I've always been, yeah, okay. And my parents and everybody around, oh, it's so beautiful. I'm like, it's an explosion. It's a colored explosion. Yay. And I have even more of that apathy towards the drones. Like, yep, they're drones. Those are LED lights. I got boxes full of them. I
I mean,
just,
you know,
I mean,
I
I
saw
don't know.
saw this one video of a dragon flying
Yep,
around
yep.
and stuff, and I mean that to me that's superior than the fireworks because the fireworks don't make a dragon that dances around the football stadium and lands and eats children. You know, and that's what you want. You want to see, you know, at
Well,
least
yeah. I
be
mean,
able
if
to
I see a
fish.
dragon, I want to see kids getting eaten. I
Of
mean,
course. That's why you bring the dragon out on Halloween, because all the kids are out in the streets.
right,
Dragon, you know,
right.
yeah. I mean, fuck, that's the time. If I was a dragon, that's when I would hunt. Halloween, maybe some recess, because all the kids would be on a field together. Be a good place. There's a problem is their parents might work for the Air Force or something.
Right.
Nuke 'em,
Really
nuke 'em.
pissed off. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
the B-52. You got to be tough to fly in the buff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever seen the commercial with the B-52 flying off in the sunset with a nuclear bomb mushroom cloud by it, and the caption is Miller time.
No, I haven't seen that, but that would be awesome. We should play more of that.
Yeah. I mean, the Hercules fleet for the Air Force with the B-52 transport is in Jacksonville. I mean, I see them convoy out pretty regularly. They take it off, taking a bunch of shit somewhere.
Yeah.
Or something. But I mean, their shit's all geared up with being able to refuel and everything. They can go anywhere in the world and not have to land, but once and turn around and come back here. They refuel in the air and everything.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, the Hercules is the backbone of the Air Force. And they move Army, Navy, so they move everybody's shit. But
you know, the Air Force doesn't even want them.
I don't know, man. Around here, they say they want them.
What, the Hercules?
Congress makes them buy the Hercules.
Huh.
Because you know they're obsolete. They're slow.
Huh.
It's not about speed.
They
It's
would
about
rather
the
have
payload.
they would rather have a new airplane, but Congress
I'm sure
makes
they
them-
would. I mean, yeah. Hey, let's spend
They
money.
wanted
We
a new
love
airplane
spending
about
money.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
And
We
for
haven't been
20
able-
years,
yeah.
Congress keeps adding. I think it was 6 Hercules every year to the budget.
Military
Whether they want it up or
logistics is
not.
like a Beverly Hills ex-wife. We love spending money.
Well, I mean, they might be slow, but they have a big. I mean, they can bring tanks places.
No, you only carry 20 tons. They can carry maybe a striker, a small striker. Ooh-ah, ooh-ah.
Tanks all over the world.
Ro-ho-ho and a bottle of scotch. Is it time yet?
Hello, Cameron. Hello, Devin.
Hi.
Mm,
Gary
Hello.
says that
where's
her and Victor are just working out some technical difficulties.
All right. Gotta love some good technical difficulties,
Oh,
man.
yeah,
If they,
yeah.
you know, if they stay off port sites, you don't get as many computer issues.
Actually, in my technical expertise over the years, I have discovered, and I shit you not, you get more of those web-based virus, JavaScript. People call them viruses. They're not. They're made by the script kids. But you get more of that shit going to your local news websites than you do from like Pornhub. Like
Yeah,
seriously,
why
So-
are local news websites like that?
I don't know,
It's been
but
forever now.
seriously, like you like here in the
They don't
Portland
have any
metro area, go to like
Uh-huh.
coin6.com and don't have an ad blocker, and like you are inundated with that shit. Like, and it's like old school, like where it tries to open up new windows and shit. Like this is like the old stuff from back in the 90s. Like they haven't even bothered to upgrade their viruses. You get more of that stuff there than you do porn sites.
I don't even go to my local news pages. I mean, I follow them on social media or whatever, but I don't really read their story. I mean, their shit's all formatted for Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, and like, yeah, even the stuff that it really irritates me. Like, you'll see something like an article or something on Facebook or Twitter, and you click on it, and of course it opens up another tab, and of course, it links to their page. But their page is designed for a desktop computer. And so the text is like super small. And so then you're having to zoom in on your phones just so that you can read it. And that's if you have 20/20 vision. Then you get people like me that have glasses. And you're like, you get done and your pupils are the size of dinner plates because you've been trying to read this microscopic text.
Oh, it's cool today. It's only 106.
Oh, fuck me. No, yeah, no.
It's been 100. It's been over 110 the last 3 days.
It got up to 98 here. Like I said, like when we were in Hermiston, man. Like I said, I don't know what it is about the desert, but like 100 degrees there is totally different than 100 degrees here. It feels
kidding.
It feels like the sun is like 3 feet away from your face up there. I don't know, like you're somehow closer to the fury of God. It's just like we are gonna burn you out. Ugh, just terrible.
It's 70 degrees in this room that I'm in.
Shit,
Wonderful.
There was all these things about save the planet. Set your AC, for like, what was it, like 80 some odd, or 88 degrees or something. I'm like, oh hell no. When it's probably about, I would say 85 or higher, the AC goes lower because it's got to work harder to keep up. Like right now, my AC is set at 67. I've got 3 of these damn things in this. I've got an 850 square foot apartment. I got 3 ACs, 1 in each major room, and they're all set for 67 degrees. And they're keeping it, well, this one says that it is a comfortable 74, and personally, I could stand for it to be around 70.
The best gift to give a woman that's going into menopause, I shit you not, is a fucking window unit right next to her fucking favorite chair.
Dude, we've
that
got
shit paid off for like ever. That's the shit.
Well, that's why we have 3 of these motherfuckers, because my wife, she came from Hermiston, and the reason why she moved to Portland is because she hates the heat. And like as soon as it's getting to be about, the first week of May and the temperatures start to go up, she starts to get crabby, and it only gets worse the hotter it gets. I'm like, you know what? Happy wife, happy life. I don't need to deal with that shit. So we're just going to get AC units, and we're going to crank them, and, fuck the environmentalists. And,
man, I'm telling you, man, once it, I don't know what she goes through, but once 50 came, that window unit with just right there next to her chair so she can get 60-degree air blasted right in her face.
Right.
That shit's paid the fuck off, man.
I mean, we sleep with the air conditioner in our bedroom at about 65 at night, and the fan blowing on high at the same time. And,
Yeah, it's all year long. I sleep with a fucking quilt on. I'm a fire guy. I like heat. And well, I don't know, man. I just went by the store and got like this weighted, really soft fur blanket. That it's weighted. It like hugs me and stuff. I love it. But all the cats want to come fucking go, hey man, let me knead your ass while you're
let
sleeping.
me help you here.
Yeah, make the biscuits.
I really don't want cracked biscuits on my butt. Yeah.
Hello, Carrie. Hello, Victor. You guys get your technical malfunctions all sorted? I assume so.
Yeah.
Sort of. We were trying to pair some headphones because all the roommates are in the house at the same time. So gunfire in the background is not violence. Just
Call of Duty,
Yeah, exactly.
I totally understand. I get it.
Yeah, right on.
That's fine.
So welcome to the Pirates of Drinax. We're going to be picking up where we left off last week. These guys are on a seam. They have discovered the Dragon Fortress, and they have an invitation to go inside and meet with Prince Harrick and hopefully get some answers as to what is going on. And I can see Cameron is too cool for school. She's got her shades on.
Yeah.
I'm having one of those migraines that makes me
Oh.
blind, like for about 20 minutes. So
I totally hear you. I totally hear you. So I went to the eye doctor and got computer glasses because my prescription hasn't changed, but my regular glasses, is the monitors just aren't far enough away, and at about arm's length, I've been getting these terrible headaches, and they're like, oh yeah, you need occupational computer glasses, and so I ordered them with the amber tint and then blue light block and AR coating, and they're all the bells and whistles because, hey, I'm not paying for it. That's insurance, and so I cannot wait until they get here because like I'm trying to read this PDF. Most of my PDFs, which are perfectly good size at 100%, like from here, I see blurry smear. I kind of have to look through my progressive section in order to be able to see it clearly. And then of course then you get a crick in your neck, and I'm like, nope, I'm done with this. Just give me some good glasses. So looking forward to that. So before we get started,
mateys.
yes, Glenn with his pirate outfit.
I have a middle eye. I have a problem with my middle eye.
The pirate cyclops, or the yes, your third eye. Oh my God, I used to cackle endlessly when the original Diablo came out. Oh, they're the sisters of the sightless eye. I would just sit there and giggle. What are you laughing at? I'm like, you guys don't get the joke, do you? Oh, never mind. Before we get started, I'd like to thank one of the friends of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They're just products that we really like. Tonight, we'd like to thank Fabled Beard Company. Fabled Beard Company makes beard balms, butters, co-wash, beard wash, oils. They've got a whole line of products. And the beard balms come in a tin that looks just like what Gregor's holding up there. That is the Hero. It is a lightly cologne-scented beard balm. Today I am wearing Dr. Wolf, which smells of blueberries and pipe tobacco.
It smells good too.
Yeah, they do. They smell really good. They have a ton of different scents, and all of their scent profiles are a different fantasy character. So I'm sure that you can find one. They give a description on each of them of what the scent profile actually is. And I'm sure that you can find one that would suit your needs. They do have for first-time purchasers, they do have a buy one, get one free option. So if you go to fablebeardco.com and create an account, you can then put 2 beard oils into your cart. And when checking out, use the code FIRST in all capital letters, and you'll get that second beard oil for free. If you're a fan of the channel, we do have a merch store. We got T-shirts. We've got a beer stein, a blanket that comes, a fleece blanket that comes in 3 different sizes, buttons. So yeah, all of the proceeds from that store go directly back into the channel. So go ahead and check it out. And we do appreciate any support you give us. If you're a fan of Saturday's Brawnhaven game, we just had a big sale for the Brawnhaven campaign setting core rulebook. It was on sale, the PDF for $250, but those books are all available on the Drive-Thru RPG and Big Geek Emporium. And there is a PDF bundle pack, the Brawnhaven Adventure Bundle, that is priced to kind of get you started. It's got the Brawnhaven campaign setting and then the first 4 or 5 adventures. Yeah, something like that. But it's a bundle, and it saves you a couple bucks off of buying each one individually. So go to Drive-Thru RPG or Big Geek Emporium and check it out. All right, so where we left off, Ching Shiih was landing the Dragonfly, and at the Dragon Fortress, and so she sets down, and as you're coming in to land, Ching Shiih, you everybody else that's riding with you, I don't remember who's all in the Dragonfly.
Everybody
except for Ting, is that?
That's
yeah,
correct.
That's right.
That's
So,
right, yeah.
Yeah.
I took the Anubis and sniffed them out just
Right.
as they discovered where the fuck it was anyway.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So Ting was first person on the spot. So it's a good thing that you brought the dragonfly, because where this landing pad is, it can't even really be called a legitimate landing pad. There are no landing lights. There is really, if you didn't know that it was there, it would be exceptionally dangerous to just come in here and decide, hey, I'm going to land there. It's only large enough really to hold about 800 D-tons worth of ship. And so it's good that you brought the Dragonfly, because it can actually land. The Osiris is too big. You couldn't have both ships on this plateau at the same time. But as you set down, you can see, that there are these vertical shafts that are dug in. Dug is not the right word.
Blasted, raid,
melted. I mean, you could do a lot of excavation with a man-portable plasma gun, and apparently they did. And you cannot. These things are quite large. You can't see how far down they go. It just goes down into darkness. But as you are landing the Dragonflyer, you can see that there is a grav platform that is coming up from one of them. That would be just big enough for you guys to, and the Marine complement to, or the Hawk Guard complement to stand on. Now, when you land, you can see that there are 4 Hawk Warriors that are staying there, armed with scatter laser rifles, that are they're keeping an eye on the ship, but they see you guys approaching. They've been told that you were coming, so they're not overly alarmed. And so Ching Shiih sets the Dragonfly down, and what do you want to do? The Hawk Warriors have been telling Ting to come out, and Ting keeps trying to invite them to come in for tea and crumpets, and they're like, they have declined all invitation to refreshments. So now that the captain's here, I don't know what you guys want to do.
I'm going to come out and join the captain and all that, and go prepare to do the thing. I really feel if they didn't come in and I could, do a covert takeover of the place, then, it'd be best if I let the captain do all the talking to princes and stuff,
Oh, yeah. Lord, Admiral, Queen, Captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if I can successfully kidnap the prince in this, that will be worth a medal. But I just don't know what army would want me to have it.
You remember last week when they said that Ching had been influenced by multiple minds?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm of the wondering if that doesn't necessarily mean multiple bodies.
Oh, that's yeah. That I had not considered that. Interesting.
I thought we were gonna say to the daughter that we brought her father. We need to rappel down to have him speak with her. I thought that's what we were doing.
No, so you were told that Prince Harrick. And who told you that? Was Lady Telwax. Yeah, the governor, Lady Telwax, finally confided in you and told you that. So Lady Telwax is first. Lady Telwax is a Prince Harrick supporter as far as the factions go. She, of course, was unaware of the coup attempt on the floating palace. But beyond being a Prince Harrick supporter, she is as they all are, a very well educated, self-serving politician. And so if she doesn't think that things are going to go in Prince Harrick's direction, then of course she would ally herself with Rao in order to stay in power and keep her head. If she doesn't think that either one of them, if she doesn't know who is going to come out on top, and really, I mean, that's been a question since this whole thing began. Even you guys, you've knocked around the idea of, taking control yourselves, but there are certain things that would have to, in order to legitimize your reign, you would have to marry one of these two reprobates, and you don't really know what's going on. And so Lady Telwax has decided that she'll just go ahead and play the odds, and she gave you the information, told you that Prince Harrick is still on the planet, that his ship left, it was a false flag, and that he is still here. She doesn't know what he's doing, and she gave you the location of Fort Dragon, which is Drinax's top secret base that is basically designed to, if there's an uprising on a seam from the Foundation, that they would probably go, the nuclear option, literally, and put that to rest. So, here you are, and the Hawk Warriors have already. So Ting, when he came in, told them that he had, important information to give to Prince Harrick, and about his father being gravely injured. And so the Hawk Warriors radioed down, and you guys have an invitation to come in to have an audience with Prince Harrick. Now, when you guys step out, the Hawk Warriors are looking at you, and the commander looks at you and is just like, no. Yeah, no battle dress, nothing but sidearms, and he's looking at you and he's like, we'll allow you to have sidearms and bladed weapons, but that's it. And it, not that Rexar is here, but like Rexar's axe, that would be too much. Like cutlasses, a blade, an officer's sword, that's acceptable. Gal's pistol. You're having an audience with the Prince of Drinax, not invading a pirate ship.
We're part of the fucking court for all intents and purposes. I mean, I don't give a shit. I'll come out of it. I'll put on my best dress uniform with all my personally earned and awarded medals and shit.
Right.
And bring the recording of the king's last wishes and meet up with Captain saying I have all that fucking information, and if you don't mind, take a look at how great I look, all of you. So you do look wonderful today.
We have one vote for stripping down.
There I am.
We could take these guys if we wanted to.
Yeah, I'm not fucked
It'd
up.
be a little rough, but yeah, I think we could pull it off if we had to. But we're gonna bring our Marines with us, I assume, right?
We sure as fuck can do the whole fucking formal march.
Yeah, I mean, you probably could if you want to bring your Marines with you.
Damn right, he'll have to check out our drum line and do a parade.
You guys will have to make a persuasion or diplomat plus social check on that.
I get +3 if I roll it.
Yeah, you're gonna do the best.
You got it.
I actually know it's +4. I'm sorry, persuasion. So yeah,
I need that.
yeah. I'll
Something
just
besides
tell them,
-3.
Yeah, I will be Freddy foreshadowing here and tell you that if you work this whole thing out right, you could get a pretty serious kick to the social stat. Whoa, okay. So
How about
yes,
that, pop off.
yes, the Marines will be allowed to come with you.
Of course, they're the honor guard of the king's wishes. This is very important.
But they won't be allowed in to have a private audience. They will have to remain out, out in the hallway, kind of thing. They're not.
That's
allowed
fine. I mean,
I have my body pistol, my garrote, and my brass knuckles.
That is acceptable.
I've got my silk
and my
suit,
cutlass.
my silk Drinax military suit, custom made, tailored fit.
So,
We could have just not brought any other clothes, and then
See,
they'd be
I have
like,
a
"Oh
cutlass
shit, I
right
guess
there."
we got everything."
See, I have a cutlass right there.
We all show up naked. Just,
I was gonna paint the shape of a dress onto my battle dress, and it just like a painted on halter Marilyn Monroe dress right onto my scout's armor.
yeah,
I mean, if
You notice.
this place is loaded to fuck with nukes, and if we cross them, we have to kill everybody here. So
Right.
Okay, sure enough.
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's what it comes to. I mean, we either have to kill everybody in this installation because we can't take a ship away from this place with all these nukes that would come at us. I mean, I don't think that we can outrun a nuke even with thrust 6.
Well, I guess it really depends on how many nukes go off. But I mean, so one of the rumors that you had heard was that not necessarily that there would be nukes launched, but one of the rumors was that they would just self-destruct Fort Dragon itself in such a massive nuclear explosion that the planet would be pretty much decimated at that point. So,
Going to shift its orbit.
yeah, it might. I mean, it would be pretty bad. I don't know that you would be able to outrun that. So, this grav platform comes up, and you guys get in or onto it. And it's just it's basically like a large round air raft, and you and the Hawk Warriors and your Marine honor guard step onto this platform, and it starts to descend way down into this mountain. As you're going down, you also notice that as you're going down this vertical shaft, that there are probably about 20 meters down, there are 2 sets of pillboxes that are set up that basically is a crossfire kill zone. So anybody that would try to come down, perhaps with like battle dress with grav belts, they would be, coming right into a crossfire from these pillboxes. And these pillboxes, the Hawk Warriors that are in them are armed with PGMPs. So it would be a pretty bad situation. They really did a fairly decent job of setting this base up to be, well, not just secret, but almost invasion proof. It's pretty dug in. So as you ride this thing down, and it probably takes you probably about 15 minutes to get all the way down, and you get down inside. Has anybody ever watched the old have you ever watched the old Buck Rogers TV show?
Certainly.
So there was an episode where Buck
They were
finds
still
out.
showing when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, I mean, so not that Buck Rogers. So there was an episode where Buck finds out that there was like a secret base inside Mount Rushmore. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. And it was like there was like the presidential, I think it was Kennedy's presidential office in case of like massive nuclear attack or whatever. And I'm like, I remember even as a kid, I'm like, so Mount Rushmore is above ground. If there was a nuclear attack, that would be the last place you'd want to be. But whatever. So it's kind of like that. You get down to the bottom, and there are wood paneled walls, and the typical Sandalian brass railings and red carpets. The difference is that this base only appears to be maybe 30 years old. Unlike all the other Sandalian bases that you've happened to run across, or Sandalian ships that you've happened to run across, where they are thousands of years old and they're in massive disrepair. This place looks brand spanking new. And the Hawk Warriors lead you down a series of hallways, and
somebody's got a Sandalian machinery still.
Hold on here. Why am I not finding what I'm looking for? Yes. So he leads you down this hallway, and stepping out of one of the side rooms is this very how do I describe her?
Oh no, somebody's daughter.
A very chiseled woman. She's got a very strong jaw, and you look at her and you can tell that this is Colonel Sedelti Rax, the daughter of Lord Rax, who is currently back on the Osiris in your brig. And she...
I'm glad we didn't bring the Osiris.
She kind of stops the commander of the Hawk Guard, and they whisper to one another for a moment. And she introduces herself to you as Colonel Sedelti, and she is very straightforward. She says, "I want to know the meaning of your visit to a top secret classified fortress. The location of this base is a matter of national security."
Yeah, you're not really. Yeah,
you're not really in the loop, bitch.
Yeah, you're not part of the. We've been entrusted. Yeah, we've been entrusted from King Olib with specific things that are above your pay grade, quite frankly, and I mean, that the fact that I was able to sniff your base out with just some simple listening because you failed to encode your hawks on patrol. I'm really not sure, how secure you felt your base would be. I mean, it's common knowledge, people talking at the starport. But okay, we're here to see the king, the prince, and we have information for him and his ears only, and you do not have his ears. No offense.
Could make a diplomat.
Who cares if it is?
You can make a diplomat plus soc check, but you're going to make it at a Bane. Roll 3 and take the 2 lowest.
Diplomat. So
you're going to roll 3 6s anyway.
Well, we don't know, but here we go. Roll the dice.
All right. Well.
So that's an 8.
So
yeah.
She cocks an eyebrow at you, and she looks at Ting, and then she looks at Beth, and of course Beth is sitting there as captain. She's got the fruit salad on her dress uniform, and she goes, "Well, he's a cocky son of a bitch, isn't he?"
Lord Queen.
And she says, "Well," she says, "I take it just from the attitude, I take it that you must be the pirates that I've heard so much about from my father."
Not so much about pirates. It's about someone's made an assassination attempt on King Olib, and we have information.
So you're going to tell her that there was an assassination attempt?
Well, I mean, there was fucking. I mean, we.
I thought this was for Prince's ears only.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
No, well, she's gonna find out. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could tell her I arrested her dad on suspicion of being involved.
No, we're
in-
keeping that secret.
Yeah, probably best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
When
we ought
we're
to
changing
arrest
out of our
her,
uniforms,
too.
they're all like, "Hey, let's not
We ought
mention this
arrest
part."
her too for being co-conspirator.
right.
But wait, guys,
Uh.
the governor or whatever of the planet also told us where it was because we convinced her that we were legit and it was important.
That's true.
Yeah.
So why not instead we say the information that we have was deemed important enough by blah 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 to tell us where you were.
By Governor Telwax.
Yeah.
Telwax
We
told
could
us
seem
where
all
to find
genius
you because
serious.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
well,
we don't need to.
I just feel like if we are trying to get away without being nuked and taking
Okay.
such advantage of the goodwill we've managed to trick people into.
Well, we
That's
are.
yeah,
the way
that's
to
a
go.
good idea.
We are. Captain, Queen, Lord, Lady Beth is technically in charge of the Drinax Navy right now, which means she outranks this colonel.
This lowest
And
colonel.
and so I mean, you know.
So at that, Colonel Sedulti says, "Well," she says, "So, I apologize. I should have said privateers. You are the privateers, not pirates." She says, "They're all pretty much the same to me, but it just means that you're on our side, maybe." She says, "So wait a minute. How are you in charge of the Drinaxian Navy? What happened to my father?"
A lot of things went sideways during the coup attempt.
Just this coup attempt.
Yep, things got pretty spicy. They're trying to sort everything out legislatively at the moment.
She looks at the commander of the Hawk Warriors and she says, "Get them to Prince Harrick immediately so they can deliver their information." She says, "I will be in the command quarters,
Would you
prepping
please?
a military response."
Oh, wonderful! Could you see to the Anubis
Response
being
for what?
refueled?
Oh yeah, they don't. There's no problem with that. They're going to refuel. They'll refuel and the Harrier, and they will refuel or they'll recharge the Dragonfly. I imagine the Dragonfly is probably electric.
Yeah,
It's the future, right?
maybe so. Probably nuclear powered.
Yeah,
No,
maybe.
that's hydrogen
Now I'm curious.
powered.
What does it say? Does it say? Let's see.
It doesn't jump. I mean, it's just a good grav war vehicle.
Well, it's a TL8, so I mean, as a grav vehicle, I would imagine it's probably electric. It's probably a fucking Tesla.
Left over from the Tesla collapse.
Yes, yes. After they went bankrupt, they took all their technology and spread it around. So, so the commander of the Hawk Warriors, she immediately takes off, and like she said, she's planning a military response. Like the general gist that you guys get is that if there was a coup attempt, and her father is not currently in charge of the Navy, she's going to draft a plan to basically reinvade Drinax and probably place the floating palace under martial law. So
Well,
Good luck.
she won't get past the blockade of the Rasputin.
yeah, that's true. She's been down here for a while. She may not. Well, she
No.
would have military reports of the Rasputin. So.
I will tell her while you're going to do a response. I don't know what you think we're doing. Is we're in command of the Rasputin, the most powerful military vessel around, and we control all traffic coming to and from Drinax.
She
needs to know that there was a coup attempt, but things have calmed down since
Yeah.
then. We're in the sorting everything out phase.
We have, yeah. There's no need for your military action. You should wait.
Everybody can make a reflex plus social check. Or
A what?
reflex. Make a recon plus social check.
I knew what you meant. Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry, that's 3 dice.
14.
Nice.
I got 8. I didn't do so hot.
I got 5
I got 14.
because I got a -1 on my dice DM for social.
Yeah, Gregor's clueless.
I got 11.
I mean, Gregor grew up on a farm with doing black market shit.
Yeah. Gregor has fully embraced the pirate life, and he doesn't really need Soch being a pirate. He just needs credits. So what did Ching Shiih and Jacob get?
I got 11 and he got 8.
Okay. So, and what about Beth?
I also got an 8.
Okay. So everybody except Gregor's completely... Gregor's standing there looking at a painting on the wall of one of the Sindalian emperors.
Wonder what I could get for that.
Yeah, this priceless, relic painting, and he's like just sitting there staring at it. And the rest of you notice that, you notice a couple of things. Her demeanor has changed at hearing that that you guys are in charge, or that Beth is really in command of the Navy. And that her father is no longer, and no word of what exactly happened to her father. She has gone a little pale. She's sweating. She's very skittish, and Keith and Ting, it occurs to you that her being skittish and nervous and concerned about what happened to her father. Two things. She's obviously hot-headed, and she has a lot of military might at her disposal. Her being skittish is not really something that you would be comfortable with.
Yeah, well, I'll tell her, look, your father is totally safe, and he's probably going to get reinstated in charge.
Don't worry, your father's still an asshole.
Yeah.
He's fine,
Yeah,
he's not even stuffed up.
Yeah, do some
Is
things.
he right-handed?
Yeah,
I want to crush his left hand.
Yeah, you're
I kept his hand safe from lots of crushing attempts.
Yeah, your father's fine. You just, really, he's fine.
We're all fine here.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
How are you doing? We had a little misfire here.
Yeah. But of course, General Rax, and of course your reputation is known to be loyal to the crown. Your service is unblemished. Your father's service is unblemished, and he will probably be returned to power in the very near future. But we have pressing meetings to do and sorting of affairs to reestablish the chain of command.
So, because Ting and Keith got so high on their recon check, I will also allow both of you to make a electronics computers plus intellect check. And this would have been information that you had looked up previously on your way here.
10.
Okay.
We both got 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you on your week-long jump to Asim, you kind of were going over. Not necessarily on the week-long jump, but after Lady Telwax had informed you that of where the base was, you kind of did a little bit of research, and of course, you looked into with having Lord Rax in your brig. You've looked into things a little bit deeper, and you have come across Colonel Sedelti Rax, and it's not that she's a colonel, but from looking through the records, you two determined that there was a lot of nepotism that played into that. It's not that she is an incapable officer. It's not that she is, a cluster by any means, but there's nothing about her record that would have propelled her to the rank of colonel. It was simply her father placed her in that position.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's to be expected.
And she is young. She's what? Well, when I say young, she is 28 years old.
That's pretty young for a colonel.
That's very young for a colonel, and it's not like she's had any major combat experience, and here she is in charge of this top secret base that may or may not have weapons of mass destruction at its disposal. And, I mean, I guess you could classify a PGMP as a weapon of mass destruction, to be quite honest. And there's a lot of those around, So she takes the information that you guys give her, and she tells the Hawk Warriors to escort you to Prince Harrick, and so that you can deliver your report. And she continues with her course of action. She is going to the command bunker and planning something.
She should come with us.
Oh yeah, she's a bigwig.
Yeah,
True.
man, you're in
Don't you
control
wanna
of
hear
this
it?
base. You need to come. Really? I mean, these.
She actually turns and tells you. She says no. She says, I appreciate that you are acknowledging my rank and my position here. She says, but if there was a coup attempt and there is information for the prince's ears only, that is sacrosanct. That is for you to deliver and the prince to hear, and that is not for my ears. If Prince Harrick then decides to divulge that information to me after the fact, that's his discretion. But I can't. I'm not to be in there for that.
You should be at the ready to be summoned. You should trust me on that.
Oh, she is.
You know?
She completely
Yeah.
is. She
Okay,
is.
cool.
She is.
Yeah.
She.
So they're not gonna take off.
She serves. She says, "I serve at the prince's discretion."
Okay,
No,
cool.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean,
Let's mosey on over and see what
yeah,
the
see
mechanical
the
man has.
prince. Yeah.
So the Hawk Warriors lead you down, and the wood panels kind of open up into a large vertical shaft, and there are a series of and when I say a large vertical shaft, I mean like huge vertical shaft. Everybody roll a recon plus intellect check. Now, Jacob, you've known that this place existed, but you never knew where it was. You were never stationed here, but there was always rumors that there was a base on a scene. And there were several people that you had served with that ended up being stationed here, and you basically once they left to come here, you never heard from them again. It's like they would be here for 2 years, and then all of a sudden they'd come back, and if you asked them what it was that they did, they'd be like, I can't talk about that.
Or let's
Okay.
shoot my wife.
Ting, you got a 7. Gregor got an 8. What did Keith
7.
get?
We both got 10.
Okay. So Gregor, Keith, Beth, and Jacob got a 5, and Ching Shiih. So as you look down this vertical shaft, and there is just enough light for you to see the tops of multiple warheads, missiles, like hundreds of them.
I hope we don't all get exploded, gang.
Yeah.
So
But
this is going to be
Probably in every one of
a
these
really
holes, too.
big vertical shaft. I can see hundreds of missiles.
yes.
It's like about a mile across.
So imagine it. So if you've seen, here's a great one. When we were kids, or well, when I was a kid, there was a GI Joe toy where it was a missile carrier. It was basically it was a tank with two boxes full of missiles. It looks like those boxes full of missiles, but they're ICBMs. At the bottom of this, yeah, there's a lot.
How many holes did we see?
There was like 4 of these vertical shafts, so you're not even sure where these things launch from. It could be another section of the mountain, you're not sure, but you can see the tops of these warheads. In the shaft, on the sides, you can see that carved into the rock, up the sides of the shaft, going many hundreds of feet up, what appear to be apartments built into the rock.
Oh, goody.
So, I mean, they would have a living room view of the launch of ICBMs.
Good.
And these Hawk Warriors lead you up into these apartments, and you come to Prince Harrick's apartments at the very heart of the fortress. And now let's see. So you come in, and you can, or they hit the doorbell, and the door slides open, and Prince Harrick is there wearing a plain white dress uniform with red piping, and he bids you to come in. And
does he have blue eyes?
That's an excellent question. I just realized.
And I call him Admiral Thong.
No, we should not offend him.
So
we don't want to find
this is.
Prince.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's wearing a black dress uniform with gold piping. My bad. But this is Prince Harrick. No, he has brown eyes. He looks like a young version of his father, King Oleb. Fit. And
Does his father ever fit?
Can we hear his servos whirring when he moves?
So when he moves, you can see that he moves in a very deliberate fashion. He yes. He moves in a very deliberate fashion, and every once in a while he stops, and he'll like rub his leg or he'll rub his arm, like it still hurts. But when I say that he moves in a deliberate fashion, almost like he's not entirely used to getting used to his balance. And he turns and he sees you guys come in, and he says, "Oh," he says, "It's you. I believe I I owe you thanks, I suppose, for making me the head of the Church of Clark. Because remember, you guys made him Space Pope."
That's right.
Yeah, he's keeping the faith super good down in this hidey hole. Is he interested at all in the information about the fate of his father?
Well, I mean, he doesn't know anything. So how do you want to present this information to him?
Probably medically.
Okay.
Wait, but how does he not know anything when he bailed the second it happened?
He didn't. He bailed he took off, and with him and Rao being gone, that's when the coup broke out.
Uh-huh.
He literally doesn't
believe that's true.
And he literally doesn't. He shouldn't technically know anything about his father. I mean, assuming that he didn't have anything to do with it.
Exactly, that's my point.
But
I don't assume that for a moment.
He might not have had anything to do with it, but old Colonel Girl could have had something to do with it.
Everybody's
Do we
a
have? Did
suspect.
anybody bring our psi detector?
We did. We can hit her with it too after we arrest her, but it'll take some finagling to set it up prime to get her into custody.
So you have a psi detector. Do you want to run a scan before you tell him anything? Or do
Is
you...
he like cool with that? He's like, oh, a suitcase. Let me jam my face into it. Sure. And then I'll hear the important information. Or is he like, no, that's weird. Go away.
It depends on how you sell it. You tell him it's for identification purposes.
He knows.
There's a newsreel inside this.
He's been in the
He
tower
knows.
for how many
He
years?
knows what a psionics detector is.
But does he know that it's a hot new anti-aging treatment? I don't think so.
He doesn't. He doesn't really have that problem. See.
Well, what if you just say there's evidence of nefarious psionic influence in the events that have been happening, and therefore, before we disclose, we want to verify
That
that
you've been infected.
that you're, safe to have that information.
Telling the truth is much more simple. That's for sure.
Make a persuasion. If you can do it two ways. If Beth wants to make a medic plus education check, and somebody else wants to make a persuasion plus social check, depending, you'll get a bonus based off of her effect.
Oh, good. I could roll the social and persuasion for
So I
-4.
I got an 11 on the social persuasion.
Okay, so Beth, what'd you get for medic?
15.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes Ting's persuasion an 18. He says, you know what? He says, I appreciate that you are taking this so seriously and following what appears to me to be a logical procedure. And so he submits to it. Who wants to make the... Well, actually, I need to find this silly suitcase. Let's see. Psi detector, page 79.
It's 10. You got to break a 10 with an electronic sensors check.
Is that what it says? Psi detector. Yes, you do. So who wants to make electronic sensors plus intellect check? Or
Ting is
education?
not there? No, Ting is there, right?
Yeah, I'm right there. I can do
He's got
it.
the best
Keith,
sensors.
I think Keith gets a 3-2 on the whole roll. Am I right? It don't matter.
On sensors, I just get a 1.
Oh well. All right. Well, 11.
Yeah.
There.
You break it. Takes you about 5 minutes, and it measures his responses. He does not come back as psionic. Now, things that you know about the Prince, you know that 23 years ago he was mortally wounded in the assault on Asim. He was wounded, not in combat, but the official record states it as an accident. He was burned badly by a reactor overload in a shuttle, and at first they thought he was dead. But they detected faint life signs. They threw him into a low berth and took him back to the Scholars Tower on the Floating Palace. And for the last 23 years, he's been in a coma. Basically, they cloned parts and brought him back. You're guessing there's probably quite a few augmented parts.
Would he mind ordering Colonel Rax to submit to psionic tests for security? Because she's a high level. We'll be able to tell if she's been influenced. We believe
he has. He says at this point, however you feel, that's completely acceptable to me. But please, before you do so, can you deliver the information to me so that I know what's going on?
Oh, yes, my Captain, General, Queen, Lord, Queen's Goddess Beth.
So we'll detail the sabotage of the grab belts and the,
Oh, and the implication that it was one of the honor guard that tampered with them.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
did some it was obviously somebody in one of the wing guard suits that tampered with them, and that is why we've taken General Rax out of command of the Navy until him and everybody can be cleared. We don't know who's doing what.
So
and
he.
the oh sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And that his father's last time we were there, he was undergoing surgery at the Scholars Tower for
Yeah.
injury.
Are you going to tell him that what Oleb said about not wanting to be made better, faster, stronger? Or are you going to keep that to yourself?
I mean, I thought we'd just replay the last little bit speech of exactly what he said is right before we.
You could do that. You have it on. You have it on record.
Yeah, wonderful side angles of
I don't think we want to play the heroic.
We should. He deserves to know.
Yeah. So yeah, replaying the video of Oleb's last moments where he basically kind of roundaboutly put us in charge. I can make that case on how that went.
So
sure, so can.
He takes this information. He doesn't respond immediately. He paces the room, and you can see that he is obviously deep in thought about what his next move is going to be. When Harrick talks, he speaks simply and humbly. A lot of times he speaks very deliberately, so he will search for the exact right words to convey what it is that he is trying to say. Almost like there is almost too much information in his brain. And you know from experience that he, having been rebuilt, he's more clone than anything else. And you suspect that there are large portions of him that may also be mechanical. There's a lot of augmentation that went into bringing him back. And so everyone, he always walks with a stiff military-like bearing, but occasionally he'll like wince in discomfort, like there is an old phantom pain, but he's very focused and deliberate. And he stops and he turns to you and he says, "This is very disconcerting." He says, "So I'll be honest." He says, "I have supported the restoration effort." He says, "Drinax's biggest problem is that the floating palace is a government without a nation, a head without a body." He says, "We have high technology and culture that could help worlds across the Tliawaha subsector. We should be going forth as teachers and gardeners. And he says, no offense to you, but we should not be going forth as pirates and conquerors and just using force only if it's justified. He says, I would prefer a small kingdom, a few worlds, maybe just a Seam, Porn, Torpal, Clark, Hilfer, Paul, Blue, and Birney at most." He says, but that may have sailed beyond because there obviously you have gone forth and done the work that my sister set you forth to do, and now there's Tech World and a number of others. He says he is clearly he is horrified at the news, and he says that he had no idea that his followers would launch a preemptive coup. He says, I never wanted to become king, especially through bloodshed. He says, this is why I've been acting in secret.
Acting wand.
Well, he says Princess Rao has her own plans, and unfortunately, you were a part of that.
She's missing. Should we tell him? Rao is missing, and there was a blood
We
trail.
should ask if he knows where she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the biggest mystery.
He looks at you and he says, if I had accused my sister openly in court, I fear that it would have led to a civil war. And he says, evidently that happened anyways. He says, there's far too many of the palace's nobles have come to believe in my sister's plans. And they all greedily dream of having their ancestral territories restored to them. Those ancestral territories don't exist anymore. He says, a great example is Lady Hill, of whom I believe, Captain, you are familiar with Lady Hill.
Yeah.
He says, you should be careful of her. She is a viper.
Not very good at it.
Yeah, he says for being a viper, she telegraphs her intent. She doesn't really hide much. He says,
But what was he going to accuse Princess Rao of?
Well, he says, I believe that my sister has or had too much influence over my father, the king, and that the two were locked in a mutually destructive and unhealthy relationship. He says, the more that Rao tried to impress my father by reaching for the scars, the more my father retreated into his pleasure-seeking, hunting, and drinking, forcing my sister to come up with even more impressive schemes, which meant that my father would withdraw even further from the boring business of government because he would assume that my sister would take care of everything. He says, myself and Scholar Voha have been keeping a close watch on my sister, and we've noticed that she has had several mysterious trips to this very system, to a seam. He says, I believe my sister has been secretly meeting with some external power.
We definitely need to uncover all this.
He says it could be, he goes, it could be general development. He says it could be the Pirate Lords of Thieves. It could be the Glorious Empire. It might even be the Strand Cluster. He says, whoever they are such a shameful ally that she will not even admit her treachery to my father.
Do you have a trail that we can follow to find out who these people are?
He says, well, now that you're here, he says, you are the linchpin of my sister's schemes. Why don't we all go together and ask her? Because I brought her here, and I've been holding her here until she will tell me what she is up to.
Oh, I think that'd be a wonderful idea to go see that.
Lie detector.
I'm totally speaking out of place because I'm not in sorts, but
I want to find out how many personalities she has.
If she's here and we can get them all in the room.
He says, if you condemn her and reject her plan, she'll have no choice but to abandon her shadowy alliance.
Not so sure I follow that logic, but
let's find out who it's with, though. That's gonna be the key to figuring out how to react. Is who are these people?
Well, I mean, now hold on. Maybe now is the time to try to present that maybe we remove Rao from the picture and let him be the last standing heir, and maybe he could hand the governor himself to us, and we could do the kingdom right. But I mean, if he's willing to go along with us getting the trade route all the way across the Dust Belt.
But she's such a snack.
She might have made a really awesome connection, or she might be like working with the scum of the earth, like cannibals or furries.
We definitely need to have a psionic check of her,
Well, and then here's the question. So Ching Shiih is psionic. Do you want to read thoughts and to make sure that, I don't know what you guys want to do. Do you want to, you don't have a lie detector, but you've got a Ching Shiih.
We do
She's
want to
pretty
get,
good.
I don't know. Everything he's saying kind of makes sense, I suppose.
Him saying that he had Princess Rao here is honesty, and that is a sign of good faith, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
true
agree.
too. He's like, do what you want.
Yeah.
Is there any
I
way
want
we
to use the
can,
side detector on her.
is there any way we can make money off of this?
I think this is like we're gonna get some kind of power or prestige out of this first, and
Yeah.
then you can turn that
Can
into
I
money.
trade it in for money?
Well, we need to get
Not
our
yet.
kingdom. Yeah, we need to get our kingdom in order and find out what the fuck we're doing.
Right.
I mean that's kind of the thing now. But yeah, my vote is if it's a voting thing is to go have the meeting with Princess Rao and the prince.
So
I agree. We should meet with Rao.
So he's ready to take you right to her. He leads you out of his apartment and takes you down a couple of levels to what can only really be considered. I mean, I would not call this a dungeon by any means. They are more apartments, and there are a couple of hawk warriors that are standing guard outside of this door. And he commands them. He says, "Open the door, let us in." And they immediately hut to and open the door, allowing you into a very well-appointed apartment. I mean, this for being captive, this is like a Las Vegas penthouse suite. And in here is Princess Rao, and she
Does he have a pool with Bambi?
probably not, but
You guys are too young to remember that reference.
so this is Princess Rao. And she is, as Ching Shiih knows, she's charming and persuasive. And she speaks smoothly and eloquently. She makes gestures to emphasize her words. And she never, ever seems to doubt herself. And Harrick comes in. Harrick comes in and basically he says, "Rao, I now have the linchpin of your plans here with me. Not only have you conspired with outside forces, but now our father is in the hospital, probably not going to survive. There has been a coup attempt on the palace. He says, you need to answer for your crimes." What do you guys want to say?
Ooh,
Amen.
I don't want to say anything, but I want to read Rao's surface thoughts as he's speaking.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I want to try and figure out if she too is like surprised, or what her reaction is based on that.
So you can immediately see that she is. There is an obvious visual surprise. You can all tell that she's visibly surprised that Oleb is possibly dying, likely dying.
Good.
But go ahead and make a telepathy plus psi check.
Nine.
10.
Ooh, nice. So that cost you 2 psi points. Her surface thoughts. You can read that. Yes, she did not know. She did not know about Oleb. She's hiding it. She's hiding it very well. But she is distraught at the fact that her father is dying. But from her, let's see, what does it say? What do you get with surface thought? Only active in current thoughts. So you do get,
She should get she could get something on the outside interest, because we just brought up the subject.
well, her immediate thoughts, surface thoughts, are of Ching Shiih. And she regrets having to use Ching Shiih as she did, but it is definitely tied to this outside power. And one word pops up in her mind, and the word is Taj Jabbar. Now, Ching Shiih, Ching Shiih needs to make a...
Taj Jabbar.
Yeah, well, I will type out how it is spelled. It's spelled like that. Ching Shiih needs to make a... Shit. Make a... Roll 2D and add your current psionic score plus your intellect score.
What's so my psionic was 11, and I spent 2 points, so now it's 9.
Okay.
So what's the modifier now?
So it is +1.
It's still +1. Okay. So you said psi plus what?
Plus your intellect modifier.
Eight.
So you got everybody else other than Ching Shiih, everybody needs to make a recon plus intellect check.
Ooh, please let me go super soldier and start trying to kill everyone. Please let me go super soldier and start trying to kill everyone.
I got a 9.
Nice.
At 12.
Keith got 7.
Okay.
And what was the modifier for that?
It's going to be an average 8+.
No,
I'm sorry.
I mean,
Recon plus intellect modifier.
recon plus intellect. I think you said your recon plus intellect was 1.
Mhm.
All right, so that'd be
10.
Jacob got 10.
Okay, so everybody except... So Keith, you got a 7? Okay. So everybody except for Keith, you notice that Ching Shi's face goes blank. Like, no emotion, no, and she's just staring straight ahead, not even blinking. Ching Shiih, your mind is suddenly flooded with memories of another life that you don't remember. So, and part of those memories are that you were a part of the Taj Jabbar. So the
Oh, it's an entity. It's not a person.
The Taj Jabbar are an organization. Let's see here. They are the Jodani secret police intelligence agency. And essentially, Ching Shi's background was that she had fled the Jodani consulate, that she had undergone psionic testing. It was basically a very communist regime that she wanted out. She fostered a whole bunch of contacts, and she smuggled herself out on a freighter and made her way into the Spinward Marches initially, and she at that point paid the money to have her identity changed, and she joined the Imperial Navy. at some point, which is how she became such a good pilot. And she has spent her life hiding her telepathic, or rather her psionic abilities, until she met you guys. And after she had mustered out of the Navy and she had signed on with Captain Beth, and then the pair of them ended up meeting Keith, and that all led to where you are now. Man, this is really, really old information from like 3.5 years ago. And but come to find out, the reality, according to these memories, is that Ching Shiih is a Manchurian candidate. So the Taj-Jabbar wanted to spy on the Imperial Navy, and they fed her false memories and concocted this entire backstory and basically locked her true self away in her mind. And she has come into the Trojan Reach basically being a ticking time bomb. And this may explain some of the blackouts, because she is being activated and has been acting as a Jodani Taj-Jabbar agent, and then put back as Ching Shiih, and has no memory of what she did while she was activated.
Do we have any idea who is activating her?
That you don't know yet. But Ching Shiih, being Jodani herself, immediately, as soon as these memories come flooding back to you, you are guessing that you have been activated by other Taj-Jabbar agents, which would explain the multiple signatures in your psionic scan.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not the same agent every time.
Right. Well, it's good to know it wasn't my girlfriend.
Yes. So, yeah.
Kill them all. Captain Beth.
So now,
kill 'em.
whether Ching Shiih wants to share this information with the rest of you is entirely up to her. You guys may not know any of this, but that is the story.
Yeah, I mean, what I would be talking about right now would be saying we need to take the royalty all to Drinax and hold fucking court.
True.
But
yeah, if neither of them planned it, then I agree. I think they should go back to the palace then.
So
I felt like I was working under the assumption that one or the other of them was scheming for it.
So Rao sees the look on Ching Shi's face, and it dawns on her that the jig is up. Ching Shiih knows.
Okay.
Rao starts to monologue, and she tells you, she says, the Sindalian Empire once ruled all of the Trojan Reach. She said, our kingdom, Drinax, is the last surviving outpost of that empire. We are an heir to a legacy that's 3,000 years old. Sindal, an old kingdom, and the old kingdom of Drinax were flawed, and they made terrible mistakes, but they brought trade, technology, the rule of law to dozens of worlds. She says, she looks directly at Ching Shiih. She says, the empire can rise again. We can drive back the raiders and slavers. We can hold firm against the Aslan. We can offer an alternative to the mercantile dullness that is the Third Imperium. She says, we have two possible futures. She says, greatness or obscurity. She says, she looks at Harrick and she says, my brother's vision of a little kingdom is pure folly. A little local league does not require the floating palace or treaties with great powers of the Reach. Drinax will fail and fall into dust, or we will rise to the stars once more. And there's nothing in between. There's no in between. She looks at her brother. She says, to answer your accusations, I have made overtures to many other powers and potential allies, and I would be happy to introduce all of you to our distant friends.
Does
Well,
she
we gotta
have?
know who they are.
Yeah, who are they?
She says that they are a distant power that have interest in the Reach.
Are they cannibals?
Probably the Zodani is what they probably are. Which, whatever. I mean, they're rather.
Do you? Well,
bad.
I mean, I don't know if you.
We're bad, so I mean that doesn't really fucking mean much. I mean, so.
I mean, do you want to just come right out and say, is it the Zhodani? I mean,
Why
do
not?
you want to make
No.
that claim or that question, or does Ching Shiih want to make it? Because I still don't know if she has turned and told you guys and said, "Oh shit, sorry guys."
Well, I mean, if she wants to, I mean, if she's a zone,
Well, I mean,
go stick up for them. It's cool.
they already know. I mean, like, okay, so it's like the name of the organization is a revelation, sure, but they already know that I was messed with. They already know that I was doing sleeper agent stuff. They already know all of that. So it's not really that much. It's not that big of a revelation because they've been a part of all of it all along anyway.
Right.
Oh.
So like, yeah, there's all we really have is a name now. It's other than that.
But I mean, do you want to make the accusation that her distant friends are the Zhodani, or do you want to allow Ting to move ahead and?
I feel like I want to have Ting do it, and then I'll re-roll for surface flats.
Okay. Okay. So Ting, are you gonna ask directly if it's the Zhodani?
Of course. Is it the Zodani that we're dealing with here? I mean,
She kind of she keeps looking at Ching Shiih, and then she suddenly turns to Ting and she says, "Yes, my distant friends are emissaries from the Zhodani consulate. The Zhodani claim that they would welcome a strong kingdom of Drinax on the rimward side of the spinward marches to draw the Imperium's attention away from the consulate border." And then she kind of looks back at the floor and kind of sheepishly looks up at Ching Shiih and she says, "I'm truly sorry. She says, I didn't mean to ruin what we had."
Barf. I'm not sentimental. If we weren't gonna have to fight our way out, I'd shoot her in the face. But
she says, "I'd be happy to."
Have to fight our way out.
She says, "Since we're
Shoot her in the face.
Since we're all on the same page, I would be happy to introduce you to them. I'm due to meet them in the next few days."
Here?
Yes, in the out system, near the in the rings of the gas giant Calvin, at the far end of the Asim system. So, if we,
I will be right back. I need to use restroom.
Okay. So up here, this gas giant, 70 AU out is Calvin, and she says that she is due to meet them out there. She has they have a regular arrangement where they meet every so often in the Asim system to reconfirm their alliance. Prince Harrick is, he's pissed. He's armed, but is
he gonna shoot her?
No, he's smarter than that. He wants to deal with this Zhodani problem once and for all. He says, "We don't," and he looks at Captain Beth. He says, "We can't have the Zhodani coming in and meddling in our affairs. Look what their machinations have wrought so far. My father is in a hospital dying. There has been a coup on the palace.
Yeah,
That's
there's
true.
definitely reason to believe that they were involved.
Well, and they seem kind of unstoppable versus people that don't have any psionic ability. So I would rather not.
That's
have
not.
them.
I mean, that's not necessarily true. I mean, the Imperial Navy has dealt with Jodani Marines many a time.
Oh, okay. So
I mean, Ching Shiih would be the first to tell you that the biggest threat from elite forces from the Jodani would be that they have the teleport ability. So a lot of times, what these jerks will do, they don't have to dock with your ship. They will literally teleport from their ship and suddenly appear on yours. But if you know that that's a threat, you can be prepared for it.
Well, I mean, if we're already in bed with them, I mean,
yeah, how are we going to
it's
get
my
rid of them?
understanding
Exactly.
yeah, you can't really just get rid of these guys, but we also need to
Nuke 'em.
establish who's running the fucking kingdom. Right now, I mean, we've got Rao,
So
who the king is named.
So up until now, you guys have been a Rao supporter. I don't know how you feel about that anymore. But Harrick tells you that he says to not worry about Jodani mind tricks. He will supply you all with. Where is it? Here's page 24.
Psi helmets.
Yes, psionic shield helmets.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, fuck yes. I want mine in a cool black.
They block all. The only thing that they block are telepathic powers. And they look really stupid. They have the gold wings on the sides and the whole 9 yards.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're gonna look awesome.
Yes. So dumb means very cool. Yeah. Yeah, they've got they look very similar to the Hawkwarrior helmets, but these are psionic shield helmets, and he can supply all of you with one plus himself. As to your question, he says as soon as we deal with this, he says it is obvious to me that my sister is a traitor. He says I will immediately take the throne until such time, hopefully, that my father recovers.
Hopefully.
Is that how we want to do it? Do we want people to vote? Like, maybe nobody gives a shit that he's a traitor because the king was crazy anyway.
Well, we should have a court.
Yeah, I think we should hold court to see if anybody, like, how much people care about this happening, and then if she could face justice that way too. Everyone's outraged about the likely treason that occurred.
Well, I mean, it's a monarchy. I mean, they don't vote.
Well,
We could start.
I think we should take control and set up things our own way and admonish the noble system of blood and favor and stuff and put something a little bit more to our taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ting would suggest some really good texts on dictatorships of the past that really suit his fancy. But
triumvirate.
But no, seriously, I think we should take everything for ourselves, and that's what I do. And the way to do that is to get these motherfuckers on our ship and start headed back to Drinax, and we do what we want to do to them in jump space.
So, well, you don't even necessarily have if you want to deal. Space? So, if you want to deal with the Jodani, and if you wanted to deal with these guys in jump space, so you are here.
We need to get out there.
Getting out here 70 AU, it's going to be faster for you to do an in-system jump. You would be in jump space for a week, regardless.
What about thrust 6?
Even with thrust 6, I mean, going from 1.48 AU to 70 AU, it would be faster
Okay.
to jump.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, well then let's offer to take.
Especially
Let's
since
yeah.
you got to spend half of it accelerating and half of it deaccelerating.
We can decide where we jump to when we jump. Let's just all get on the ship and jump, guys. Gee willikers.
Well, like I said, I
Okay.
mean, you could essentially deal with everything all at once,
Yeah, but
and then
Well,
come back and be like, okay, well, we're in charge.
you know,
So the
So we
guys
could
from
take
Scholars
Osiris and the
Tower
Harrier.
and
Probably need
General
both
Rex
ships.
are innocent. Then it seems like we've determined that fairly conclusively at this point, haven't we? That General Rex and the dude from the Scholars Tower didn't have anything to do with the sabotage.
Correct.
that's
we released
correct.
the guy from the Scholars Tower already. So
Oh.
General
Yeah.
Rex, we could release when we get back to the ship if we wish.
Yeah.
He should be able to. He should be able to visit his daughter and stay here if he wants, or come with us.
Well, why did we give him an option? Just give him a vacation.
Well, so here,
We could drop him off at the spaceport. And
so
just go.
Rax would be a wrinkle if you were going to essentially space Rao and Herrick in jump. Rax is going to be a wrinkle in that plan. He's not going to allow you to do that.
I don't want to space them.
But
Okay.
here's another wrinkle in your plan. If you were to, quote unquote, deal with them, if you are to take over, the only way to legitimize your rule would be for somebody, or, I mean, if you really wanted to legitimize your rule, two of you, to marry these two assholes.
Oh, we could have a big.
We
wedding.
have
then-
a captain.
And then after you're married, then get rid of them.
That's
Yeah,
the deal.
we have a captain. We can forcibly marry them on, gunshot marry
I
them.
mean, I've been watching too many of my wife's
Hey,
old
I'll marry
English
the prince.
nobility shows, like The White
Yeah.
Princess and The White Queen, and yeah.
Yeah.
They
I'll marry the prince. Damn
the
right.
monarchs of the Tudor era are a bunch of dubious motherfuckers, is what they are. There
yeah.
was so much poison and murder, and
We could jump in the middle of nowhere and film our weddings and things, and then they're oops, they had some food poisoning and died. It's terrible, but we're in charge now. Present that to the Scholars Tower and rule Drinax with an iron fist or a soft
Well,
slap.
I think you'd have to.
A very
I think
gentle
that they would
spank.
probably have to make it to the palace before they find ill fate.
yeah,
Okay.
it would have to
I
be
would say
it would have to be a
let's
big
plan
court affair.
let's plan to take Rao back to the palace
think
and
we
go
should
forth
take
with
them
the
both
wedding.
back.
Just tell
I
everybody that
want
it
to
was.
kill these other people first.
Oh my god! I'll wait till I have a turn.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is it? Are we okay? To go forth with the wedding as planned, and just write it off as like she was a runaway bride. And tell everybody she was a runaway bride. She got cold feet. She scooted off. Her brother ran off to try and catch her and bring her back to her obligation. And the wedding's going forth. The cold feet are over, and the wedding's going forth as planned.
Sounds great to me.
That's a good idea.
I'm totally down for that.
As long
Okay.
as we kill the
what-
Gianni as on the way.
Well, I mean, are you suggesting that we
It
meet?
seems like it would be better to encounter the Jadani once we have our full and complete military.
They won't be here. They won't wait here that long. They're going to be here in two or 3 days. They're going
Right.
to be here in a
Right,
week.
but they'll meet her again.
Yeah, they'll reach out again.
They'll
Yeah.
meet her anytime she wants.
Yeah,
And
she's
why
got
not
the.
have as much of a military
So-
presence as possible before you meet them?
So
I
the
agree
we
with
have
that.
2 ships. We have our Osiris and our Anubis with us.
so the deal with her
Right, I'm
is that
thinking more like the extra Marines and all those guys that are still at the palace.
she's been meeting with them about once every couple of months. She's been coming out,
Sure.
and that meeting out at Calvin at the edge of the system has been basically reaffirming their relationship. If she doesn't show up for one of those meetings, then the Jodani are going to figure that there's something's gone awry, or that the whole thing's fallen apart, and they're going to bolt and try to move on. They're going to try and work their machinations elsewhere.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
We could find out from them if Rao asked for the King of Drinax to be killed, or if they just decided that was like a good idea on their own.
sounds good to me.
Potentially.
Yeah.
It doesn't
So-
seem like they're people we want to get in bed with anyway. So I don't know why
No.
we're mourning the loss of them.
And what are we going to do with the prince?
I don't know.
You said you were going to marry him.
I'll definitely marry the prince.
Start seducing him. Get to work.
Yeah, I mean, really, I do have the contacts on Tech World that can really, really take away some of those quirks that you have, but you got to be part of the family to really get the discount.
Yes. Yes.
And
But I
how
mean,
much can I
His
get
idea.
for them?
I can
We
I
sell
can
them. How much
guarantee-
do I get?
I can guarantee that you will be pain free and
Yeah,
feel a lot more natural with yourself.
Right now, he's not interested in having that conversation.
Right. I mean,
His
I give a
dad's
good
dying. Why
back
isn't he
rub.
looking for a date?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
he has no interest in that conversation. He's dealing with he's got a number of things. I mean, the fact that his father is likely dying really is actually second. He's trying to his goal is to keep the kingdom together and then move forward.
Well, we need to stabilize the crown.
So-
Is the first step of that.
And that's what is really first and foremost on his mind. And so what you know of Prince Harrick is that there are those on the floating palace that refer to him as the Gardener of Worlds. He is not unlike Oleb and obviously Rao. I mean, it was Rao's idea to hire you guys.
Yeah.
Herrick's idea isn't so much of a path of conquest and piracy like Rao's was. His idea is, hey, why don't, instead of conquest and piracy, why don't we give technology and information to these worlds freely? Why don't we cultivate them?
There's some validity in what he's saying, because if you look at all the systems throughout all this fucking shit, all the fucking planets are trash.
Right.
I mean, the garden worlds are even mythical on the maps half the time.
And that's what he's saying. He's saying,
Yeah.
if we were to give these people technology, Ogma, for instance, the Ogman clans, the only reason why the Ogman clans are barbaric slavers and some of them are cannibals is because they don't have any other choice. They do not have the technology, and the technology that they are given is from Jadeko. And Jadeko is fostering their activity simply by, we'll give you a little bit of technology, but not all of it.
Well,
Yeah.
what about how does he feel about Thief?
So he doesn't really have a whole lot of opinion about Thief. In fact, he may actually
not know what
be
it
of
is.
the he may actually be one of the people that doesn't believe that Thief actually exists. It's a myth. It's
Okay.
Well, no, he would know that Thief exists just from all of his access in the Scholar's Tower. But he will be the first to tell you that Thief is also a haven that is being manipulated by General Development Company. I mean, really, Prince Harrick's as part of his Gardener of Worlds, not only does he think that the information in the Scholar's Tower should be given freely to these planets, but he thinks that we need to get rid of Jadeko's monopoly, because they are the ones who control starports across the Trojan Reach. Their entire business plan is they show up and they raise the tech level of a world by putting a Class A or Class B starport on their planet, even if it doesn't qualify to have that on that planet, for a pretty steep percentage of that planet's gross product.
Yeah, we've had our issues with Jideko as well.
Yes, you have.
So, but would giving those planets knowledge make them capable of creating a starport, or not really? Because they still might need.
If they
like
had,
as shitty as Jideko is, that might just be like.
if
as
they
best
had
as Jideko
access to
is.
the knowledge in the Scholars Tower, because you have to figure, as far as most of the worlds on the Trojan Reach are concerned, the information in the Scholars Tower would be what would, I don't know if anybody ever played BattleTech, it would be known as Lost Tech. This is, TL-15 stuff is mythical. It's magical in nature to these guys.
Yeah. We could start an accelerated education program on many worlds that could bring a people forward, into the modern age.
Okay, but without
We need to do it for a price.
without a strong like defense or some kind of military system,
Yeah.
they're
Well,
gonna just get
and-
eaten alive, aren't
and-
they?
And his, I mean, are
I
you
would
kind
think
of
so.
are you spitballing these ideas with Prince Harrick here?
I'm trying to understand how it would work in his view. Like, if he got his way, would we just be fucked off on our own thing?
If we shared the technology with a small number of worlds, like what his initial idea is, and I can bring up a map. Let me grab it here. Whoops. So here's the Drinax chain. So here is, of course, Drinax, and he says, Asim, Porn, Torpal, Clark, Hilfer, Paul, Blue, and Birney. So there's Asim,
Barely.
Porn, Hilfer, Paul, Sink, and Birney.
Oh.
He thinks he's gonna save Stink by talking. I don't. Sorry. Anyway, keep going.
Well, if we shared the knowledge from the Scholars Tower with those worlds, the first step would be that we're going to have to kick Jideko off of our planet. The second step is that once those worlds have access to the technology from the Scholars Tower, they can build their own starports. We can build industry together. We can build, shipyards. We can build ships, and not just traders, but tech level 15 ships. We could have a defensive navy.
And
He
in the
says-
meantime, he'd still need us because Jideko is probably gonna bring a whole world of shit back on us.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Hell, he's talking about taking
And the
down
thing of it is-
Ogma. I mean, would he be willing to extend out to Ogma and Murdoch? There's another one right out there next to it too that's relatively unknown, but that's all.
Murdoch
I mean-
and Ogma. I mean, yeah, you could. Torpal and Clark are up here. There would be
Yeah.
no reason not to include them. You could include Blue. You could include Marduk and Ogma. You guys already have a mutual defense contract with Tech World. There's no reason not to include them. And I mean, this could be this could be Captain Beth's end all to be all. You could technically include the world. I mean, but this would hinge on his plan, and that's of course his plan is assuming that he's on the throne. But he, honestly, it's not a bad plan. He doesn't want to go on a course of conquest. Basically, Rao is following the old emperors of Sindal. She wants to do, a campaign of conquest and retake the entire Trojan Reach, which may be a bit of a mouthful.
No
Yeah, we
kidding.
haven't
Yeah.
really been doing that. We've been basically doing diplomatic work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been improving places and making them
I-
less shitty, and then they want to join us. So we've
Right.
been doing it more Prince Harrick's way already.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And honestly, the way you guys have gone about it, you've kind of gone about it in a way that really kind of works out for him.
yeah, I tend to lean more towards the Prince. And if that's what we're doing, then we just stiff the Zuzani and let them go their merry way without,
And
you know.
if they'll go their merry way because nobody meets them,
So
Right.
here's
then we
the
don't have to do anything else.
here's the other side of the coin. You already know that the Jodani are amassing their fleets in the demilitarized zone along the spinward marches far to the coreward. Now, that may not affect you guys immediately, but it certainly looks like the Jodani consulate is trying to provoke a war with the Third Imperium. Now, of course, the Jodani are over here in the Trojan Reach, behind enemy lines, and are trying to cajole the Kingdom of Drinax into doing who knows what, but it's certainly going to draw attention from the Third Imperium.
Yeah, we need to take care of them, I think. I don't see any reason to just leave them be. I think we should go fight them where they are.
Is that what Prince Harrick wanted to do?
I think, we take a couple of these nukes with us and new ICBMs with us and blow them up.
We might
Well,
be
I
able to
mean,
pull it off.
you guys already have nukes on
Yeah.
the Osiris
We need
and
more.
the
A few
Anubis.
more wouldn't hurt.
We've only nuked one thing this whole
I know. I
game.
mean, we've only been able to nuke one thing. We've got all these nukes. I mean, why have them if you're not going to use them?
Well, I mean, man, open aggression against them is not really the wisest decision.
Yeah, that's true.
I
You
mean,
know what Strategic Air Command's motto is?
all right, well,
What we need to do
These
is
are the people that
probably-
owned all the nuclear weapons.
if they're going
And
to get into it with
their
the Third
motto is,
Imperium,
peace is our profession.
well, if they're going to get into it with the Third Imperium, then they're obviously just trying to get their hands in this trade route to cripple the Imperium, and that's what we're trying to do anyway.
Well, I mean, you're not necessarily trying to cripple the Imperium. I mean, Ting personally doesn't like the Third Imperium, but I mean, the Imperium offers stability, but everything that you guys know about the Jodani is that it is a communist nation, police state. I mean, they literally have thought police. That's part of the Taj Jabbar.
Well, but my thought is we're like, oh, let's go to this place to take care of them as though they're all there.
Well, I mean, not
And
all of
China
them are there, but
they're not. Well, that's my point.
I mean,
Is we're like, oh, let's go take care of the Jodani at that planet. Cool, we'll take care of like those 5 ships or whatever they are, and then an entire fleet will come find us later. Like, it's not like it resolves the problem.
what you guys know is that there is very likely going to be a 5th frontier war. And if there's Jodani all the way down here at a seam, they're obviously trying to create some kind of intelligence asset on the backside of where this war is going to be. And that could mean a counteroffensive. Possibly the Jodani are probably manipulating Drinax into fielding ships for a rear offensive.
But the person who wanted to do that is now in a holding cell. So
yeah, she needs to be charged with treason, and I think we can just not show up to the meeting in order to go back to the planet and be like, look, here's what happened.
I think not showing up to the meeting is a mistake.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's a huge mistake. I think that Jodani will take that as let's go mess with the other country or other planets that Drinax is trying to bring into the fold. So they'll continue their work in this side of the Trojan Reach. They'll continue their work in the Trojan Reach. They'll just not do it with Drinax. If we take them out, then they won't be able to continue their work in the Trojan Range.
No, but other ones will show up. is
Maybe.
That maybe my take is, I mean, they are very far away from their main fleet, so they don't know what's going on over here. Their main fleet doesn't know what's going on over here, and they're not going to be able to send somebody in a hurry over here.
Right. I mean, they're many weeks away from any support vessels. Months away from
What?
support vessels.
What if we hit them and make it look like Augment Raiders got them, and then leave
You
it
can
trailed
gnaw
up?
on them a little bit.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you know,
We're gonna have a barbecue.
if
barbecue.
if we hit them and knock their electronics out and do them that way, we could make it look like it was Augment Raiders. We could go actually pirate, steal an Augment Raider ship, bring it back and hit it with it, and then present it. You know, let them find it. So if we'd have months.
So the meeting is within the next couple of days. If Rao doesn't show up for this meeting, they'll leave. So you've got, 2 or 3 days. You don't have time to go get another ship.
I mean, we need to go. We got 2 ships. We've got crews for them.
Now there are trade ships in the starport on Asim.
We bought 2 ships.
Right, but you could if you wanted to make it look like a Augment Raider hit them, you could go commandeer a fat trader from the starport.
Okay.
So
it
boils down to if we can get away with it or not. Like, if we can't get away with it, then we're going to bring a world
of our
of shit
ships
on
has
ourselves.
cloak?
The Anubis has cloak.
You know,
It's not. It is essentially cloak. It's got holographic hull.
yeah.
And
So
it's
let's
stealthy.
Yeah.
Right. We can get a fat trader if we can just commandeer one and stick it on the Osiris, and then put the Anubis on the Osiris, and we could jump, and as soon as we hit there, we can separate all the ships, and if we decide to go offensive, we can hit that motherfucker with the electronics gun, the MP cannon, basically, and then attack it with the far trader while its defenses are down.
As long as we destroy the whole fleet, I don't see any reason why they would come back at us.
You wouldn't be able to put a subsidized merchant, which is the fat trader. You wouldn't be able to attach it to the Osiris. It is a 400-ton ship. Fat traders are big, but they're only jump 1.
They're expecting us though with Princess Rao.
They're expecting Princess Rao to show up in her yacht.
Couldn't we just go in that and then, like, is this like a high visibility area? Like, if we killed them all, would a bunch of people see?
No.
Or would it be
nobody?
It's
70 AU out in the orbit of the last gas giant in the system. Ain't nobody there to see if you want to murder some folk.
Why don't we rush in with the Anubis first? Like, the Anubis jumps now, immediately, and then Princess Rao yacht, whatever, comes in the day after, and so therefore the Anubis stealths in and scopes it out, and we can at least provide security and overwatch.
We could just show up on her yacht, and then when we come in, be like really, really heavily armed.
Yeah,
I don't think they'd see that coming.
You guys all have like battle dress and shit. I mean,
yeah, we could just take them out, and then they'll, they won't be able to link it directly back to us. Anybody who saw anything would see.
Can I crush one of these Jodani?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you probably could.
You'll get suppression finally.
Yeah, do we want to, with the Anubis being stealthy and all that, I'd really like to have it there.
Yeah,
if we get
agree.
it to
we need to have
enable
some backup.
Yeah,
and that's good backup.
They don't even know what's
there. We know better is a week away, 2 weeks away.
Fair enough.
Okay.
What's the firepower on the yacht? Because that's the other. That's the other reason to bring another ship.
Yeah, it
I thought
has
we were gonna
two.
get on the ship and kill them all.
It
Are we
has two
blowing up the
pop-up
ship?
turrets that are triple lasers, or two pop-up triple turrets with pulse lasers.
I mean,
So
if we
6 pulse lasers.
if we hit their ships with missiles from the Anubis, we can, be done
We
with
don't
it.
know how many ships there.
Oh,
Yeah.
how many? We don't know how many ships or how many people are showing up at this Princess Row now.
She tells you that they have a single ship.
And how many? Does she know how many people are on it? Ish.
That she doesn't know.
Can I guess based on the ship's description? Is it like 100? Is it like 20 something?
Is it like 300 tons or 500 tons or 1,000 tons?
Because you might be able to go in there and kill people and leave.
Well, how would you prefer, Ching Shiih? Would you rather shoot them from very far distance with a particle barbette, or pirate them? We could ransom them back to their people.
I think that the less contact we have with their people, the better. And if the whole idea is to not let them know who killed them, then ransoming them is not, or who took them out, then ransoming isn't really the way to, like, we're trying to, if we're trying to, like, they disappeared, then being like, hey, we got them is not going to be
At work.
Probably a wise decision, It's just, see, the thing is, somebody in a meeting at one time somewhere came up with the idea of making a movie about sharks in a tornado. And so, with that in mind, there's not really any stupid thing you can say in this.
So with Ching Shiih's surface thoughts, this is the image of the ship in Rao's mind.
Oh, fuck.
16.
It's a pretty good ship.
Yeah, we could kill all those people on board and they won't see it coming really, because we'll just show up and they'll be expecting us.
I'm definitely
what
for
you can
taking
see
this
is when
ship
we
over.
fire.
This is a ship worth taking, and yeah, as our own.
It's TL-15 and it has a teleporter on it, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh, does that mean
Well, it doesn't need a teleporter
armor?
on it because the Marines themselves have the psionic ability to teleport.
Oh, they psionic teleport. Okay.
Yep.
Does my Donnie scout armor talk to the ship in a special way?
No.
Or be able to talk because they're all scout stuff?
No.
Look at all those maybe present. Yeah.
In fact, your scout armor is actually more Sindalian. It's newer, but it is designed in such a way that it looks like old Sindalian. Which, go ahead and make Ching Shiih, go ahead and make a recon plus intellect check.
Ten, 11.
So with your 11, it occurs to you that your armor is a little weird. So you gave the money to Rishondo, like you guys always do, and you told him this is what you want, and he said, okay, I'll come back. What he came back with was modern, like it looks like it was built yesterday, armor. It is battle dress, not like the combat armor that the Hawk Warriors wear, but yours is actually recon battle dress. But it has all of the accoutrements and decorations like Hawk Warrior armor. So yours was built new, and you don't know where it came from.
The description I got was that it was the Donnie scout battle.
This guy has some interesting resources.
Right. Interesting. So I guess your guys' plan is to do a stealth assault on this Jodani ship,
Which is a stealth ship.
which is also a stealth ship.
Yeah, I think our plan is to have a stealth vessel available, but to board the ship
And murder everybody.
everybody.
And rob it.
Yeah.
And then leave it in space.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, I want to take it.
Yeah, make it over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
we
is
should
a
take it.
nice ship. It's really something worth having.
You
Yeah.
can take it to Steve. There's always that.
You could
Be
use
my
it.
wedding present.
Yeah, and it's if it's a Jodani ship, ain't nobody gonna care that you stole it.
It's got that superior stealth hull. Oh man.
Okay, that's the plan then. We if we pull this off, we can get the ship also, which would be amazing.
Yeah.
And then you can
Armament
decide
a
what
little-
to
I
do with
suppose we could
Rao.
up-arm it.
So we will pick this up next week with your proposed plan to deal with the Jodani threat at 7:00 on Wednesday night.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I had a wonderful
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
All right.
great
Thanks,
night.
everybody.
Have a good one, guys. I will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.